Yeah, we went across the street, played Rice. Uh, Really tough opponent for us. Rice is playing really well this time of the year, but gave us an opportunity to work on some things, come together as a team. Our guys fought from the opening kick to the final whistle, and just gave us an opportunity to work on some things versus a quality opponent.
Appreciate those opening comments. Coach, first question goes to Mason Smith.
Good morning, Coach. How are you doing?
Good morning. Doing well.
All right. I just wanted to ask for an update on Andrew Bott, if you've received any news on his injury status.
Yeah, right now, only thing I can tell you is that we're waiting for to hear what our doctors are going to allow him to be able to do. And as far as I know, they hadn't talked to him just yet, and he'll be a game time decision.
All right. And as my follow-up question, as far as the whole team goes, I know it's been a rough start to the year. How you kind of seen your team just manage the day-to-days? Like, are they still working hard, or kind of like you notice they, I won't say depressed, but kind of like a disappointed attitude in terms of how they played so far?
There's always disappointment when you lose a game, but these guys are extremely headstrong. They know we're not an 0-3 team, so they come to work every day with the same mentality, the same mindset. Our goals are still ahead of us, and so our guys come to work every day to just try and get better each and every day.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned in your opening statement that you used these 2 weeks against FBS opponents to work on things. What exactly did you guys work on, and do you think games of this nature should be used to practice in a sense?
Well, we use each game to try and win the game, but when the game gets out of hand, like our last 2 opponents did, then you determine that you need to work on certain things, and we're trying to find the rhythm offensively. We've played a couple of really good defensive programs back to back, and so we're just trying to find the rhythm and find our identity without Andrew, if Andrew is not able to play with us this week.
Okay, as a follow-up to that, playing back-to-back FBS schools and the outcomes of those games were not in your favor. Do you think because of how those games played out, that there could be some regression going into SWAC play with the way you guys kind of performed?
I don't see any regression going into SWAC play. I mean, our guys understand the teams that we played, and they understand the teams that we're about to play, and we feel like we're just as good as anyone on our schedule in the SWAC, and we just got to go out and execute, minimize our mistakes, and take care of the ball, and we feel like we'll give ourselves just as good a chance as anybody else.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Dr. Prince.
Good morning, Coach. How are you today, sir?
Doing well. How you doing, Dr. Prince?
I'm doing real good. Look, we know that it is what it is when it comes to the FBS opponents and whatnot. What growth have you seen from your team as you prepare for the games where the rubber meets the road with your Western Division SWAC opponent?
Really, the thing that stood out the most to me is that our guys have continued to stick together and play as hard as they can play. There's no quit in this team. There's all fight. And I think that has made us much better as a team. Guys playing for each other.
Yes, sir. Now, I know with or without Body, you're still going to have to execute. What are some of the things that you feel confident that your team should be able to execute this week? And what are some things that will bring about a concern for you to defend?
Well, we're going to do what we do offensively. We have confidence in both Andrew and Jace, and our scheme is our scheme. We've recruited those guys to play in the system. So we're going to be who we are. And then as far as defensively goes, guys are just got to, fly around, make plays. get the ball back when we get those opportunities. Be smart, be fast, be physical, and just play sound football. And have eye discipline on the back end and just play together.
All right, Coach. Thanks a lot, sir, and good luck to you on this weekend. Travel safe.
Thank you.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in Houston are well. Take us back to that scoring drive when you were able to put 7 on Rice and what that looked like for you.
Yeah, it looked like we finally got it together. We were able to run the ball some. We were able to throw it around a little bit. We had some guys. Jaron Johnson made an extremely tough catch, keep one of our drives going. We moved the ball decent. We got an opportunity to score twice, and we went for it on 4th and 1. Didn't put it in the end zone that particular time, but that was a good drive as well. But yeah, it was good to see us be able to go down the field doing the things that we like to do, both running the ball as well as passing the ball in a quick game, drop back game, and put some points on the board.
Coach, the opportunity to go into Grambling, just talk a little bit about the next opponent, the football game. And again, it's business as usual in the SWAC, and this is a good historic matchup.
Yeah, going into Grambling, it's a tough place to play, and they have a really good team. Coach has done a really good job of coaching those guys up. They got their first win this past weekend, and I know how that feels. They feel good about themselves, so it's going to be a tough win. When we go against SWAC opponents, it's just as tough as going against FBS opponents. And so we got to be smart. We got to take care of the ball, and then we got to execute on both sides of the ball, so to give ourselves a chance.
Thank you, sir. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Last question goes to Dr. Cavill.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill is inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach McKinney.
Good morning, Doc.
Good. I want to talk about your quarterback, Jace Wilson. As you said, you recruited players to play into the system. How have you graded his framework of his gameplay, considering obviously the action was against strong FBS defenses that you took place the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, we think he's improving. This is his first year within the system from a terminology standpoint. He's played in some similar systems that we employ, but Jace is improving each week. And he was thrown into the fire versus Toledo. We didn't know if he would be the starter or not, and so I think he handled it really well. He took some bumps and bruises, but he's led this team on a couple of opportunities to score points versus FBS opponents, and I think he's progressing about how we expected.
Follow-up question is about this next matchup against Grambling. Obviously, in a lot of ways, when you look at an opponent, there are certain things that you want to do that you come into a game doing. But looking at Grambling, obviously, they seem to be pretty effective offensively through the air. But defensively, they've had some concerns against the run. Can you talk about how you effectively match up against them and the things that you want to do that is a line about you having success in this matchup?
Yeah, well, I think defensively, we got to be able to stop the run, but they're effective in the pass game. And I want to say that they're one of the explosive teams offensively in our league. And so we got our hands cut out for us. But defensively, they have given up some yardage run-wise, but you look at the opponents that they've played. I mean, anybody's going to give up rushing yards versus a LSU. And so, but I think, on both sides of the ball, they're very talented. They play fast, they're big, they're strong, they're athletic. It's going to be a tough opponent for us on the road, which we like playing on the road. But we're just looking forward to this matchup. I think that the SWAC West is wide open, and we're still in it. So this gives us an opportunity to show if we belong.